It's no secret that manual transmissions are on the verge of extinction as the technology for cars to shift gears themselves continues to get better. So why should you learn to drive stick when everything seems to indicate that it's becoming irrelevant? Well, here are my top 5 reasons why you should learn this dying skill.
For starters, manuals are typically cheaper to purchase and therefore insure. The list of new vehicles that allow buyers the option to purchase a manual transmission is rapidly shrinking. However, there are still some good options out there. If you're looking for the cheapest possible vehicle you can find, the manual Nissan Versa will offer you about a $1,600 discount over a similarly spec'd automatic. Adding an automatic to a brand new Jeep Wrangler will cost you an additional $2,000 over the standard. And, just for fun, speccing a BMW M2 with the dual clutch transmission is almost a $3,000 option. The point is, manuals are still out there and they'll save you a couple dollars each month on your car payment if you decide to go that route. They'll also save you some insurance money since the overall value of the car is slightly lower than the automatic. The same story applies to used vehicles, and I'd argue that you could get a decent deal with a private party selling a manual, since the pool of prospective buyers who want to or even know how to drive a manual is significantly smaller than those looking for an automatic transmission. Number 2, manuals are, in theory, cheaper to maintain than their automatic counterparts. Although most automatic transmissions nowadays will more than likely last the life of the vehicle, there's no denying that the added complexity leaves room for more things to go wrong. And in the event that something does go wrong, you can expect a higher repair bill for the automatic transmission than the manual. This point also goes back to the idea that manuals are cheaper to insure due to the fact that the transmission costs less to replace if something were to go really wrong. With that said, both transmissions will require routine fluid changes to keep them running in top shape. But depending on your driving style, the manual transmission will most likely need a new clutch somewhere between 30 and 100,000 miles. Luckily, clutches are a known wear item and are fairly inexpensive, but it does require a decent amount of labor to remove the transmission to perform this kind of job. Number 3, learning to drive manual is basically a rite of passage for car guys. If you plan on hanging around car guys, it's almost inevitable that you'll be asked if you can drive stick. Obviously, this isn't a gatekeeping requirement, but being able to drive manual allows you to build a pretty much instant bond with those that share this dying skill. If you drive a manual car, I can almost guarantee that as soon as someone new rides with you, they will find the fact that you shift gears yourself unique and will probably try and strike up a conversation about it. The last thing that I want to say while we're on this point is that there are a ton of interesting cars that were never fitted with an automatic transmission, and by mastering the art of the stick shift, you allow yourself the opportunity to drive pretty much any car that's on the road.
Number 4. This point is actually one that I feel like isn't talked about enough because for people who like to travel, it's probably the most practical. When you're traveling abroad, manuals will be the cheaper rental option for the majority of the time. This is because manuals are way more common overseas than they are in America. When this coronavirus fades and people are finally allowed and willing to travel again, you can save more than 40% on a rental car by booking a manual. Take this example of a theoretical weekend trip to London. You can save over $60 by booking a manual. In the grand scheme of things, this isn't a huge savings, but the $60 extra you have in your pocket could free up some cash to do something fun. I'd also argue that driving stick will add to the excitement of the trip, especially since in this example, you'd be on the opposite side of the car and the street while you're in England.
Lastly, driving stick is all around more fun and engaging than driving an automatic. In the manual, all 4 of your limbs have a responsibility and you have to constantly be thinking about what gear you want to be in. This virtually eliminates the opportunity to text and drive and forces you to be more present when you're behind the wheel. Plus, it's just way better to have command over the entire rev range without a computer deciding if you really do want to wind it out to the red line. In the manual, if I want to drop a couple gears and accelerate hard, I can, and I will.
So there are my top 5 reasons why you should learn to drive stick. If you like this video, definitely hit that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm so you can help me grow this channel. And feel free to subscribe if this is your first time stopping by. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.